In a surprising display of power, Russia announced the reactivation of the nuclear reactors of the cruiser Admiral Nakhimov, the largest surface warship in the world. The news, widely disseminated by the country's state media, reveals that the two nuclear reactors responsible for powering this immense war platform were restarted, the first at the end of December and the second on February 2nd, signaling that the ship will soon begin sea trials and possibly return to active service as the new flagship of the Russian Navy. The Admiral Nakhimov, part of the legendary Kirov class, was originally conceived in the 1980s for the Soviet Navy, at a time when the country sought to match and even surpass the naval capabilities of the United States. With a displacement of 28,000 tons, it surpasses, in terms of size and potential, the modern American destroyers of the Ali Burke class, and compares to aircraft carriers of other nations, demonstrating its grandeur and robustness. Being one of the few surface warships with a nuclear propulsion system, the Nakhimov is capable of maintaining high speeds, reaching 32 knots, and operating for long periods without the need for refueling, making it an invaluable asset for power projection on the high seas. The modernization of the cruiser is not limited to the reactivation of the nuclear reactors. In a process of profound transformation, the old P-700 cruise missiles, once dubbed aircraft carrier killers, were replaced by 80 launch silos intended for more modern and versatile weaponry, including the P-700, the P-800 Onyx, the 3M54T Caliber, and the hypersonic Zircon missile, capable of ushering in a new era in anti-ship and precision attacks against land targets. Complementing this offensive power, the ship's air defense system also underwent a revolution. The old S-300F was replaced by a maritime version of the S-400, distributed in 96 silos, a number equivalent in capacity to 3 land-based air defense divisions. And it was integrated with short-range systems, such as the Pantsir ME and the navalized variant of the S-350 Vityaz, ensuring comprehensive protection against aerial threats. The reactivation of the nuclear reactors thus marks one of the most critical moments of this modernization, as it indicates that the entire complex of systems, including propulsion, weaponry, and sensors, is ready to operate in all modes, elevating the Admiral Nakhimov to the level of the most powerful surface combat ship in the world. This measure also takes on symbolic contours, as in the midst of economic and logistical challenges that intensified after the collapse of the Soviet Union, the resumption of this project demonstrates the resilience and adaptability of the Russian naval industry. While other assets, such as the aircraft carrier Admiral Kuznetsov, face structural and operational problems, the Nakhimov emerges as a strategic response to the demands of an increasingly volatile and competitive global scenario. The account of the events, as reported, details that the process of reactivating the nuclear reactors was carried out sequentially, reinforcing the reliability and technical readiness of the vessel. This sequence, first reactor at the end of December, followed by the second on February 2nd, not only confirms the viability of the cruiser's nuclear systems, but also sends a clear message about Russia's intention to put into operation a ship that represents a historical legacy and at the same time, a platform of technological innovations. Such an achievement, announced vigorously by the state media, signals the imminent realization of sea trials, which will evaluate the integration of the new weapon systems, sensors, and especially the effectiveness of nuclear propulsion in high-intensity combat scenarios. This initiative, far from being merely technical, has profound geopolitical implications. At a time when international relations are marked by heightened rivalries and an arms race, The modernization of the Admiral Nakhimov reflects a power projection strategy that aims not only to enhance Russia's military capability, but also to reaffirm its position as a protagonist on the global stage. By investing in the requalification of a ship that, for decades, symbolized the pinnacle of Soviet naval engineering, the country demonstrates that the past can be reinterpreted to face the challenges of the present and prepare the ground for a future of constant innovations. Strategically, the reactivation of the nuclear reactors and the updating of the weaponry and defense systems of the Nakhimov are essential for Russia to maintain a significant presence in international waters, especially in regions of high geostrategic interest. The ability to maintain high speed and operate for long periods without relying on refueling, inherent characteristics of the nuclear propulsion system, grants the cruiser a mobility and autonomy that are decisive in conflict situations. This operational advantage allows the Russian Navy to project its power quickly and effectively, enabling intervention in areas of tension and exerting a strong influence on the regional power balance. The modernization of the Admiral Nakhimov can also be interpreted as a direct response to the technological and tactical innovations adopted by other maritime powers, such as China's Type 55 class warships and the United States Zumwalt class. Although the Nakhimov does not have the same stealth features present in some of these more modern ships, its combination of firepower, with 176 long-range missiles and the hypersonic potential of the Zircon, with the robustness of a dual nuclear propulsion system, places it in a prominent position, capable of acting decisively in both offensive and defensive operations. This reliance on traditional strength, coupled with significant innovations, demonstrates a modernization strategy that seeks to maximize available resources, even if they stem from a technological heritage of the Soviet era. The symbolic aspect of this decision is equally important. At a time when Russia faces challenges not only in the military field, but also in its industry and economy, the reactivation of Admiral Nakhimov represents an affirmation of continuity and resilience. By transforming an asset that has been in dry dock for years into a modern combat platform, the country demonstrates that it is capable of reinventing its capabilities, using the legacy of the past to build a future where innovation aligns with tradition. This message, carefully articulated, serves to strengthen the image of a state that, despite adversities, remains committed to the development and maintenance of a military power capable of competing on a global level. Lastly, the return of the nuclear reactors to active service is not just a technical operation, but a strategic move that can redefine the contours of maritime security and geopolitics in the coming years. Amid an international scenario marked by uncertainties, where alliances form and dissolve, and where military technology advances rapidly, the Admiral Nakhimov emerges as a symbol of Russian ability to adapt and innovate. If on one hand, its modernization reinforces the idea that historical assets can be transformed into effective deterrence tools, on the other hand, it provokes a deep reflection on the future of naval operations and how the balance of power might be altered by the integration of classical technologies with disruptive innovations. Thus, the cruiser not only resumes its role as a central piece of the fleet, but also positions itself as a warning to the international community. The geopolitical game of the seas is far from decided, and the ability to reinvent the past may be the key to mastering the challenges of the future.